I am a police investigator with the University of Minnesota Police Department. Some of you may be surprised to hear that the University of Minnesota has a police department. We have a 50-officer department with motors and K-9 and our own investigations division because we are a 150,000 person city in the middle of Minneapolis and St. Paul. And you may wonder why the University of Minnesota is coming all the way out here. Well, it's kids and Institute primarily. But part of what we do is chances are pretty good. Some of you are going to be coming to the University of Minnesota, and hopefully you'll go through your 4 or 6 or 8 years there without ever coming in contact with me. But if you do, we're hoping that we can limit your likelihood to become a victim. So that's what we're going to talk about tonight. I need to say that anything I say tonight is not the opinion of your staff, your church. It's all on my own. This is it's a touchy subject. I spend a lot of time looking behind the curtain. I know what's out there. I'm going to try and convey that information to you. If you came here tonight to learn more about how to use your Facebook, that's probably not going to happen. This isn't a Facebook talk. This is a face reality talk. I'm going to tell you about some of the scary things that are out there. I am going to give you some tools at the end that hopefully you can use. But my primary goal is to make you, at the very least, think long and hard about what you're putting online and the information that you're giving out, and hopefully make you just a little bit timid about the information that you put out there. So to start off with, Kirsten and I are going to do a drawing of, she's got all the confirmation.
So Myron gave me a list of the kids, and we've got 2 bins here, and everybody's names are in them. And we're going to do, so this is going to be the Twitter bin, and this is the Facebook bin. And so what we're going to do is just draw a name, and then we're going to put, whoever we draw, we're going to put their Facebook page up here, and the Twitter account will go up here. So, here you go.
They can do that.
Oh, wait, would that be a problem for some of you to have your Facebook?
You don't want us to do that? Well, then we draw a new name. If we draw someone that doesn't have a Facebook account, because some of you may not be legal actually to have a Facebook account.
Okay. We're not going to do that. But those of you who are squirming around in your chairs, is it because you have stuff on your Facebook and your Twitter account that you wouldn't want me to put up here? If you do, that's an issue, and we need to talk about that.
You want me to turn it off?
Today's world, we're connected through dozens and dozens of ways. We have cell phones that are capable of photos, texting, connecting to the internet. We have email. We have social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. What's the new thing with the 3-second picture? Yeah, see, you guys all know. There are topical sites out there. There are gaming sites. There are associations. There are sites that are designed for kids. We also have gaming ability. A lot of parents may not even realize things like your Xbox allows your kids to communicate verbally with random people. Okay? If you have an Xbox and they have an Xbox Live account, they can play with their friends. They can also play with people that they haven't met who can have conversations with them. So as we're talking about all the different social media that we have, keep gaming in mind as well. Personal information. We put a lot of personal information out online. It may not always be in the same place, but if you think about all the different sites you have and all the different information you put out there, we're going to look in a few minutes, we're going to go through and see what we can do with the information that I can find out about people online. We have photos, we put our names, our addresses, our phone numbers, our current location and status. Little side note here, I just heard on the radio this morning, it seems like every time I do one of these talks, that morning on the radio, there's a new news tidbit about social media that gives me a reason to get excited about coming and doing my talk. Facebook has a new app coming out in March. Has everybody heard about the new app that Facebook has that you can download to your phone? It's a great app according to Facebook. It allows you to keep your current information updated on Facebook using the GPS on your cell phone. So wherever you go, if you go to a restaurant, you go to school, you go home, your Facebook app keeps updating. We're going to talk a little bit coming down the road here about stalkers. Stalkers can keep track of where you are using your Facebook app on your cell phone. And you can't turn it off. Once it's downloaded, it operates in the background. So even if you shut the app off, it'll still continue to update your Facebook and make it real easy for everybody to find you. Tagging. What? You have to do that manually if you don't have a Facebook app. But if you put the new Facebook app on your phone, then I'll stop the questions at the end. I got just a ton of stuff that I got to cram through here. And I'll try and get all the questions, but if we do a half an hour on the Facebook app, we're not going to get to the rest of the stuff that I do. So, what will the end, right? Tagging. You can tag photographs. You can put other people's names on photographs. If you have a group photograph, you can label all your friends' names so that anybody that comes to your site can mouse over and see all the names of all your friends and see what they look like. Geotagging is a neat little feature on your cell phone that you might not even know you have. And if you haven't shut it off, it's probably on. Most cell phones it comes on as a default. When you take the picture, if I use my cell phone, take the picture of the group right here, and I send that picture to somebody else, there's information encoded in that picture that they can load that picture into Google Earth, and Google Earth will say right where that picture was taken. In the trainings that I've gone to, they've done demonstrations on it. It's pretty scary because they can literally snap this, put it into Google Earth, and Google Earth will point right to Zion Church. Facebook strips off the geotagging information. They do that automatically, but not all sites do. I don't know if like the Instagram, I don't know if they strip that off, but that's something to keep in mind. Too much information. We're going to watch a little video here about information online. A lot of that information that she just talked about is probably information that you've all published on your Facebook sites, if you have Facebook sites. Who your friends are, what music you listen to, when you're going on vacation, things like that. That's information that other people can get a hold of. Tagging. Now this group here is of Orono kids. I did this talk originally with my church when Kirsten was working there at Trinity. And let me just step aside a little bit and tell you how I really got into the talking about internet with kids. Is part of my job is I look for suspects. The bulk of my job is actually sitting in interview rooms talking with bad guys, trying to get them to confess their sins to me. So the more I know about the bad guys, the more I can make a connection with them and get them to tell me what I need to know. So I do a lot of what's called creeping. I have a fake Facebook page. It makes me a college student. I have a bunch of friends. It's amazing how many people will friend people they don't know. So I have friends, I have a whole Facebook page, and I use that Facebook page to go and try and get into suspects' Facebook pages to see what they're up to. When I was doing that one day, I just typed in my own name and was shocked to see my 12-year-old son's Facebook page pop up because I told him he couldn't have a Facebook page. So that made it a little bit of an issue. So we went home and had a big heart-to-heart. But what was even more shocking was that through my son's Facebook page, I was able to get into most of the school's Facebook pages. This is a picture of our middle school. These are all middle school kids. And when you mouse over their picture, you get all of their individual names. So even if they don't have a Facebook page, because this person was nice enough to put their picture on his Facebook page, I could get all the names of all those kids. That's called tagging on a photo. So what are the issues? What are the problems that we run into? Our initial drawing. Stuff you wouldn't want your mom to see. Stuff you wouldn't want your church to see. If you're putting that kind of stuff online, everything you put out in an electronic format is available to the public. You may think that the information is just between you and your friends, but I guarantee you, eventually, somebody who shouldn't be reading that is going to be reading that. And we're going to talk about all the ways that that can happen. So if you type something in an email, in a text, on your Facebook, on Instagram, as soon as you hit send, that's going out to the public and you can never get it back. So if you think that thought every time, is my mom going to end up reading this? Is my pastor going to end up reading this? You'll be hopefully a little wiser about the stuff that you put out there. Misunderstandings among friends. I mean, this is the most common problem with kids your age using social media, is that you say something to somebody that you don't want somebody else to hear, and then somebody else finds out about it, and they get hurt. Feelings get hurt, friendships get destroyed, there are fights, there's harassment, there's online bullying that all come from this. Part of the problem with electronic communication is when we talk, a lot of the communication is not verbal. A lot of the communication is in our body language. When you talk to your friends, you know whether they're mad at you, you know whether they're happy, just by the way they're talking. When you type stuff out, that gets lost. And Myron, can you hit that link for me? I'm gonna put a few lines up here, and I'm gonna read them in different ways and see if the meaning is conveyed the same when I do them in two different ways. Is she really dating him? Is she really dating him? What was she wearing? What was she wearing? In the ever ubiquitous, dude. All those things, and there goes the microphone. Apparently that's for users. All those things, and you can click that. Where's my little, there's my little thing. When you type something, you may be thinking in your head one way of saying it. The person who's reading it might read it in a different way. I rely very heavily on sarcasm when I communicate. It's just part of being a cop and part of being who I am. I have had several very unfortunate incidents in a professional manner, at work, where I've typed an email and I've inserted sarcasm with my head, but it didn't go through the send button, and somebody else read my words but did not get my intention, it can cause problems when you type something in. Again, just the misunderstandings among families. Again, do you want your mom and dad reading some of the things that you put on there? If you don't, they probably shouldn't be on there, because if mom and dad do read them, there could be problems. Misunderstanding at school, work, I just told you about my own email experiences. There's some legal issues involved. Many of the websites, Facebook included, has a 13-year-old minimum age. As my 12-year-old son can attest, they don't check. You put in your own birthday. You can put how old you are. They don't check. That's computer fraud under several different statutes. I'm not going to get into the fraud part of it, but just know that if you're under 13 and you have a Facebook page, you have committed fraud because you have lied to Facebook. And if something ends up happening, technically Facebook could come after you for that fraud. Party's gone wrong. I could talk for hours about this. I just find this fascinating. But just Google Facebook party's gone wrong. This particular one was in New Hampshire, Connecticut, one of the little New England states. Teen's parents went away for the weekend. He thought it'd be a great idea to advertise the party that he was having at mom and dad's house on Facebook. Hundreds of people showed up at his house, caused over $45,000 worth of damage to the house. Arrests were made, lawsuits, etc., etc. Again, you put it on Facebook. It might as well be on a billboard on Highway 12, okay? If you think the stuff you're putting on Facebook is staying private, it's not, and we're going to talk about that. Employment in schools. Schools, colleges are going to look at your Facebook page. Employers are going to look at your Facebook page. There's lots of ways that they can do it. Even if your Facebook page is locked down and private, which we're going to encourage at the end and talk about. When I do, part of my job is I do background checks on new police officers. When we hire somebody, they come in and we do a very thorough background check. We talk to neighbors, we talk to their high school friends. We are very thorough. And in our first interview with them for their background check, I slide my laptop across the table and say, sign in your Facebook page. I don't even have to go around and try and sneak in. I say sign into it. If you don't want to sign into it, this interview's over. If you do sign into it and there's stuff in there, this interview's over. I have one of the friends of my wife and I, our kids are friends. They told us a story, a nephew, full ride scholarship to an Ivy League school for athletics. Went to Mexico with mom and dad. He had a beer in Mexico, which is legal. He was legal, he was 18 years of age. He could legally have a beer, but he posted that picture of him drinking that beer on his Facebook page. The university saw it, called him out and said, you are still welcome to come to our university, but unfortunately we have to retract your scholarship due to NCAA rules. We have a zero tolerance policy on alcohol. You have a picture on your Facebook page of you drinking a beer. Mom and dad tried to fight it. They said, we use in Mexico, it's legal. Nope. The things that are on your Facebook page can come back to haunt you later on. And if you think you can get rid of them, I can assure you I can find them. Hacking. A lot of the crimes that I deal with when it comes to Facebook are people who aren't supposed to be in your Facebook page getting into your Facebook page and taking stuff, or getting into your computer and taking stuff. And one of the things that I'm going to talk about coming up here, for some reason it has become very trendy over the last 3, 4, 5 years for teenagers to take naked pictures of themselves and send them to other people. It's called sexting. We're going to talk about that. But even if they don't send them and they put them on the computer, I have had several cases of very unfortunate women who have had their computers hacked into and had their very private photos posted onto their Facebook pages, sent to their parents, their families, their uncles, aunts, cousins, all their friends, and they come to me and they say, can you get these pictures down? My answer is no. No, I can't. If they've broken the law, if they've hacked in, I can go after them for computer crimes, but I can't get your pictures back. They're out there. Anything that's in electronic format, if it's on your computer, it's at risk. If you send it to somebody else, it's public. And the crimes that I deal with, it seems like probably half of my crimes anymore start with either Facebook or Craigslist. Theft and fraud of people trying to sell stuff, people getting offers to buy stuff. One of the most common is somebody will post something for sale and somebody will offer to buy it from them, and then they send them a check. If they're asking $200, we'll send a check for $2,000. Be like, what? So then they'll get in contact and say, oh, I made a mistake. Could you just cash the check? Send me the money back and keep an extra $50 for your trouble. Well, those checks are fake. When the people cash the checks, they take $2,000 out of their account, they send the money back, then they end up on the hook to the bank for their overdraft charges. Stalking, we're going to talk more about stalking. There are people out there who develop obsessions with other people. It is crazy the lengths these people will go to. We have several stalking cases where somebody gets obsessed with somebody else. Even after they've been arrested, they will go back and still try and make contact with these people. You can't understand it. You can't understand the amount of obsession these people have. And we're going to see that we're providing vehicles for these stalkers to get in contact with us. Abductions. People can be abducted off of Facebook. And one of the things I want you to keep in mind here is, hang just a second. We think of when people get abducted that somebody shows up at their house and kicks in the door and takes them. What happens more often, and what doesn't make the news when it comes to internet abductions, is that a lot of these kids go voluntarily. There is a process called grooming that this person in this video is going to talk about, the grooming process, where a bad person will have lengthy weeks, months of contact back and forth with a person to the point that the abductee will trust this person and will actually go and meet him. Okay.
It's a tool that has to be used properly. It's like a knife. It's very helpful, but it can also cut you. My name is Julie. When I was 13, I started talking to Tom. He didn't act or even sound like a 56-year-old man. So he was different on the computer. I knew that I wasn't supposed to be talking to him, but I did it out of a retaliation against my parents. It felt nice to have somebody who wasn't always trying to tell you what to do. It started to get more like a relationship where it went from just friends to best friends, more personal relationship than best friends. I would instant message him between 3 and 6 hours a day. I was really upset whenever I couldn't get on the internet because I knew that he would be like, what were you doing? And he emailed me like 10 times when I knew where I was at. Then you feel like extremely bad about it. It was an opportunity for him to manipulate more. I trusted him more than anyone else. He mentioned, would it be nice if we were together all the time? And then the thought came up of running away. The night I left, I kissed all my brothers goodnight, and he was in his truck, and we just rode out. I ran away for 3 weeks. The day that I was found, we were on our way to Reno. Somebody reported us and saw our truck. I knew pretty much it's over. And I never really thought the day would come. He's going to be in jail for 25 years. He sent a letter to me saying that it was my fault and that he was going to kill me if he ever got out of jail. I was really upset because he didn't say anything about caring about me. I didn't think of his background and I didn't apply it to myself, and so maybe he could have done anything to me, even kill me. And so, now that I'm back, I feel like there's this huge emptiness inside of me. If I could have talked to people, maybe I would have had a different view on some things. If you're planning to run away, it doesn't help solve anything. If it does anything, it makes it worse. Little things can end up becoming a big thing. I kind of wish that I never would have run away in the first place. I would never do it again.
Julie is a real person. She is a survivor of an abduction. That's a true story. I've got some more coming up here from next marks. These are all survivors of abductions. And as you see, Julie's abductor didn't break into her house and grab her and drag her out kicking and screaming. Julie walked out the front door and went to meet him. There's as I mentioned, there always seems to be a news story that pops up. I did this talk for Trinity 2 weeks ago today, and driving into work that morning, I heard that the most recent court ruling out of the Federal District Court in Chicago, most states have laws on the books that allow that if you are a convicted sex offender, you are prohibited from using social media sites, because social media sites are a great way for sex offenders to make contact with their victims. The District Court in Chicago 2 weeks ago Wednesday ruled that it is unconstitutional to keep convicted sex offenders from accessing social media sites after they have served their sentence. So they struck down state laws that block sex offenders from social media. I am a strict constitutionalist. The Constitution says these people have the right to associate with anybody they want to. So I have a hard time disagreeing with the ruling, but I know the outcomes. So what that means is we need to, we can't keep them off of Facebook. So we need to keep them from coming in contact with us on Facebook. We need to be responsible. Kids, you need to be responsible for the information that you're putting on your website. And the people that are out there that you don't know are rarely who they say they are. Sexting. I gave a little brief heads up to this earlier. I'm going to play a video. Go ahead, Myron. And this is a little animation about what can happen when you send something, and even if it's not a naked picture. Remember, when you send something to somebody else, it's not yours anymore. Okay, I don't know if you saw that. It said, I need to see a hot pic. You send it, yes or no? Check this out.
You know, I was checking that out. I had to send this
little brother, mom, stalker. Teenage girls, if you send a picture of yourself to a teenage boy, he is going to send it on to someone else. Teenage boys are stupid. Don't trust them.
Boys are like that. We are.
Now, this is a page that I did for the Trinity kids, and I didn't get, Kirsten and I were talking at dinner. I should have gotten a little more information before I came here. But what I did after finding my son's site is I went through my son's friends' sites and did a lot of exploring. A lot of the members of our congregation, I was into their sites. And my question to them, have I been to your Facebook page? If you don't know, if you can't answer that question, absolutely not, you need to fix that. Because again, my Facebook page doesn't have my picture, doesn't have my name, doesn't have my real date of birth, my address, anything. But I have friends. I have lots of friends. I have lots of college kids who are ready and willing and just completely open to friending me for reasons I don't know, but it makes my Facebook page look really real because I have a bunch of friends. And they tell me all kinds of stuff about them. Things that I found while creeping around the Orono Kids websites, information that I was able to come up with. My initial friend, again, a kid that I know, but I guarantee did not know who I was when I sent a friend request to him, friended me. 46 of his 48 friends had completely open Facebook pages that I was able to go into without any problems. While I was looking around, I found a public Facebook page where an Orono student posted and sent it out to all his friends. I lost my cell phone. Could you please reply with your cell phone number? Over 50 of the Orono students had published their personal cell phone numbers on this wide open public page. Updated locations, even without the app. People are nice enough to update their Facebook all the time. I had one parent's Christmas vacation schedule. His dad was a friend of his, so I went to his dad's page. Dad told me where they were going for Christmas, what restaurants they were going to, what resort they were going to stay at. So I knew how long their house was going to be empty. And I knew if I wanted to go run into them in public, I could do that. The ski trips, there's another kid who's nice enough. He's on a ski team, and he skis up in Duluth at Spirit Mountain. I know every weekend his house is empty because his family goes with him, and he posts it every time he goes to Spirit Mountain for the weekend. I know he's gone. Very personal photos. While none of these kids had naked pictures on Facebook, thankfully, there are a lot of bikini pictures, boys in swimsuits. While these are, it may be okay for your family and friends to see these, a lot of these creepy guys will take pictures off of Facebook pages and post them on other sites. When you have a picture on an open Facebook page, anybody can go in there and copy it and take it to another site. And a lot of these sites are not sites that you would want your picture on. So again, keep in mind, if you're putting pictures of you on there, other people can take those pictures and do whatever they want with them. Tagging, I showed you the picture earlier with the tagging. What can I do with this information? What can I do with all the public information that's out there? Let's take a run through on this.
How hard is it to target kids online? Let's conduct an experiment and see. We'll start by going online and selecting a harmless chat room. How about one created specifically for youth, like this one about music? Take a look at the list of people currently in the chat room. We'll pick one at random. How about Teresa, 01? Posing as a fellow chatter, we engage Teresa in a private conversation and ask her age. She shrewdly avoids giving us that information. Most online or internet service providers have user directories available to that helps our members identify others in the group with similar interests. Members can create and store profiles of themselves in the user directory for other members to view. While these directories can be useful, they can also make you vulnerable. We'll look for more information about Teresa by checking her member profile. We type her chat name and learn more. Good job, Teresa. She didn't list her age, location, gender, or post a picture of herself, but what does her name tell us? Is she male or female? If her brother's name is Billy Jr., what might her father's name be? If we click on the locate command, we can follow Teresa wherever she goes in cyberspace. We can also email or instant message her. After 2 minutes of searching, we have determined that Teresa is most likely a female teen. She likes basketball, music, and hanging out with friends. She has a little brother who most likely answers to Billy Jr. She has a valid email address and instant messenger account, and we have accurate addresses for both. Another place to look for information is news group postings. Since we have a valid email address for Teresa, we can use it to search through these postings. Now I know how many messages Teresa has posted, when and to what site she posted them, and the text of each message. In this posting, she has posted several personal identifiers. Can you find them? They are her telephone number, the time of day when she will most likely be home, her mother or sister's name, and her email address. Within 8 minutes, we know that her first name is Teresa. She appears to be in her teens. Her interests are basketball, music, and hanging out with friends. She has a younger brother named Billy Jr. She has valid email and instant messenger accounts. She has a mom or sister named Sue. We have a good idea of what time of day we can find her at home, and we know her home telephone number. How useful is her telephone number? Even if we only had her area code, we could use it to quickly get an idea of her geographic location. However, since we have her entire telephone number, let's use it to perform a reverse lookup and see what else we can find out about Teresa. The search yielded the last name of the person Teresa's telephone number is registered to. Most likely Teresa's last name as well. For those of you wondering about your own telephone numbers right now, there's good news. Most services will allow you to change or eliminate your personal data from their directories if you find it there. But you have to find the services that list your information before you can request that it be removed. As for Teresa, we now have her last name. Let's see what information we can get searching her. We'll need another directory. How about the white pages? With every additional piece of information, we can perform more searches. We'll enter her last name and start our next search. I bet we can find out where she lives now that we have her name. There she is. Laurel. I'm not familiar with that town. Let's see if we can find more information. I'll look it up on map search. One click and I'm there, but I think I'd like a closer look. What if I want to find out how to get there? No problem. I can easily get directions online that will tell me step by step how to get from where I am to where Teresa is. Now, what about schools? Where does Teresa go to school? That should be pretty easy to narrow down. So let's go to an online search engine and put in the details we have found that will be most useful to us. Laurel School. Our search leads to local schools. We can read articles about events in which these schools have been involved. We have the street address for the schools, but most importantly, we can link to the school's websites. That will allow us to find even more detailed information about the school, such as class times, lunch schedules, and possibly pictures of students. It's been 20 minutes since we first identified Teresa in the chat room. Let's review what we've discovered about her in that short time. We know that she's a female teen. We know her full name is Teresa Doe. Her email address is teresa01@email.com. She likes basketball, music, and hanging out with friends. She has a brother named Billy. She collects or trades music. We know the full names of her mother, father, and brother. We know her home telephone number is 555-888-1212. We know she's probably home by 5:30 p.m. on weekdays. Her mom gets home from work by 5:30. She lives at 111 Liberty Road in Laurel, which we were able to get specific directions. And finally, we know what schools are closest to her home. Hopefully, this will make you take a closer look at what you or your children are posting online.
I do this all the time. Part of my job is finding people who don't want to be found, and it's easy. And most of the websites that I have access to, the general public has access to. I have access to a few that are government only, but most of the time I find people through their Facebook pages and through general searches on Google, searches on postings on Craigslist. I'll match their phone number to the things that they posted on Craigslist that usually have where they can be met at, what city they're in. It's not hard. And so much information is out there about you that you haven't posted. So think about the things that you are posting, because there's a lot of websites out there that just with a first and last name, I can find home addresses and phone numbers very quickly. And not only addresses and phone numbers, how much you paid in taxes, where you work, parents, what your last 3, 4, 5 addresses have been, who your neighbors are. I can get a lot of information in a very short period of time. So what do we do? I'm running a little over on the kids' time here, but I'll actively cull your friends. You know what cull means? Get rid of them. Cut them out. Go through your friends list. If you have a Facebook page, go through your friends list. If you do not know exactly who that friend is, you can't name them and say, I go to school with them, get rid of them. Again, I have lots of friends that have no idea who I am. Make your profile private. Lock it down. You try and find Kirsten on Facebook, her profile doesn't even come up. She has a Facebook page, but she won't even show up in a search. That's how locked down hers is. She has to invite you to come to her page to be a friend. You can't go looking for her. Beware of friends, those of you with Facebook pages and who've actually taken the time to even go in and change their security settings from wide open. There are friends as a level, and there are friends of friends as a security level. Friends of friends sounds great, right? I mean, if this person is a friend of my friend, why shouldn't I let them see my stuff, right? I need some volunteers. You. All right, stand up. You. Stand up. And you. Stand up. I have one. And Pastor Luke. You just hang right there. I send you a friend request to your Facebook page. Are you going to be friends with me? Just pretend you do. If I send you a friend request, either one of you guys, you gonna be friends with me? You don't know me. I'm some creepy old dude. You're not gonna be friends with me.
Jimmy?
If they send you a friend request, you're gonna be friends with them? You go to church with them? Yeah. You're gonna be friends with me? No. If she sends you a friend request, are you gonna be friends with her? Probably not. Come on, you go to church with her, you go to school with her, you know her, man. Pretend you know. Any one of those girls over there, do you know any of those girls?
Girls.
For the expedience of time, let's say you know them, you go to school with them, they send you a friend request, you gonna be friends with them? Okay. Now, are you gonna be friends with me? Okay. Pastor Luke, we've met, we've talked tonight. Are you going to be friends with me if I send you a friend request?
Yeah.
Okay. If Pastor Luke sends you a friend request, are you going to be friends with him? Yeah, you know him. If you all have friends of friends as your Facebook setting, I can go in through Pastor Luke's page, and I can go to your page, and I can go to your page, and I can go to your page, and I can see. Yeah, we've already covered that. But if you have friends of friends as your setting, all right, you guys, thanks for the volunteer. This is how I get to a lot of suspects. A lot of suspects won't be friends with me. But you know how I get into their page? I go down and look at their friend list. 100 friends, 150 friends, 680 friends. That's my new friend. I send the person with 680 friends a friend request. Usually within several minutes, they send me back an acceptance. Then I go in through their page, into my suspects page, and get all the information that I need to get. If you're allowing friends of friends, I guarantee you, at least one of your friends is friends with everybody. Because somebody in your friend list, look down through, if your friends that you have on your Facebook page have more than 100 friends, cut them off your Facebook. Because they're letting everybody in there.
Unless it's Holly, right?
Thank you.
Or me. I would say most of
As teenagers, you shouldn't be having that many friends. Chances are, the person who has the most friends doesn't know who all theirs are. Alright, customize your privacy settings, lock your stuff down. Don't let anybody see it. Use a block list. If you get a friend request from somebody you don't know, you can not only deny their friend request, you can block them so that they won't keep friending you and catch you at a weak moment. Put them on your block list. Updates. Facebook is just a wonderful tool. Every time Facebook updates itself, which is about every 3 months now, and they come up with the new timeline, and every time they come up with these new Facebook, they revert your security settings to open. Did you know that? Every time Facebook updates to the next, newest, greatest Facebook, you have to go back in and close down your security setting. Because they just presume that that's the default that everybody wants, is wide open. So when every time they change Facebook, they set it to wide open security. Think. Think of the stuff that we've talked about tonight. Think of the stories that you've heard, and I've got hundreds more. That just, that I don't have time, and probably you wouldn't sleep for a week. There are bad people out there on the internet. Parents, we wouldn't put our kids on a bus on a Friday night and send them to downtown Minneapolis with $100 in their pocket. Say, have a good time, I'll see you in the morning. But we allow them to do that on the internet every day. Because anybody they can run into in downtown Minneapolis, they can run into on the internet. But at least, if they ran into somebody creepy in downtown Minneapolis, they might be smart enough to say, no, I'm not going to talk to you, and walk away. When they come to them on their Facebook pages, they may not be that savvy. Kids, know who you are talking to online, and if you don't know them personally, they're probably not who they say they are. If they say they're another teenager just like you, but you don't know them personally, there's a very good chance they're not another teenager like you.